The reason you're seeing this video is not an accident. It is a signal. The karmic record you've been stuck on, the one that has played the same painful song for years, has finished. The needle has lifted. The loop is closed. This isn't wishful thinking. This is not another spiritual platitude designed to give you a momentary hit of hope. This is a report on a shift that has already occurred in your energetic field. This is quantum mechanics. Your baseline frequency, the fundamental vibration of your being, has risen to a point where the energetic groove of that old pattern can no longer hold you. It is a physical, vibrational impossibility. In the next hour, you will not learn how to break the loop. That work is done. Instead, you will receive the undeniable evidence that you already have. I will show you the physics that prove your liberation, reveal the signs the universe has been sending that you've likely been misinterpreting, and give you the operational manual for the new timeline you have just unlocked. You are standing at the doorway of a completely new reality, and this video is the key to help you consciously walk through it. The science behind this is grounded in the principles of energetic feedback and the observer effect. A karmic loop, stripped of all its mystical baggage, is a self-reinforcing quantum state. It's a closed circuit of energy and consciousness. A thought creates an emotion. That emotion fuels a belief. That belief dictates your observation, and your observation collapses the quantum field into a reality that then proves the original thought was right. It's a perfect, tragic, and brilliant trap. But like any quantum state, it has a vibrational threshold. It requires a certain environment of energy to sustain itself. You have crossed that threshold. If this message of confirmation resonates in your soul as truth, hit the like button now. It's an energetic declaration to the universe and the algorithm that you are claiming this new reality. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. The exhaustion. The profound, bone-deep spiritual fatigue that comes from trying everything. You've done the work. You've faced the shadows. You've meditated until your back ached. You've recited affirmations until your voice was hoarse. You've journaled. You've gone to therapy. You've tried to heal your inner child and forgive your ancestors. You have fought with every ounce of your being to be free, only to find yourself, time and time again, staring at the same wall. It's the relationship that starts with so much promise, a feeling of, this is finally the one, only for the same script of betrayal or abandonment or emotional unavailability to play out, leaving you wondering if you are somehow cursed to be alone. It's the same person in a different body, the same tragic ending to a story you thought you had rewritten. It's the financial block, the cycle of getting just ahead, of finally seeing daylight, only for an unexpected bill, a crisis, a job loss to pull you right back under. It's the feeling of a cosmic glass ceiling on your prosperity, a sense that no matter how hard you work or how much you save, you are tethered to a state of lack, of just scraping by. The universe dangles the carrot of abundance, only to snatch it away the moment you reach for it. It's the chronic health issue, the pattern of physical or mental suffering that defies logical explanation, the good weeks where you feel your vitality returning, where hope starts to bloom, followed by the inevitable crash that sends you back into pain, brain fog, or despair. It's the feeling of being a prisoner in a body that refuses to cooperate, a body that seems to be playing out a story of suffering that your conscious mind refuses to accept. That feeling of near surrender, the moment where you almost accepted that this was just your life, that this pattern was your destiny. That wasn't failure. It was the final turn of the screw. It was the last ounce of pressure needed to build the escape velocity. Every tear you cried, every ounce of effort you expended wasn't about trying to fix the loop. It was about fueling your own rocket ship. Imagine your life has been a song played on a cosmic record player. For the longest time, that player has been stuck. The needle, which represents your focused attention, your conscious observation, has been caught in a deep, scratched groove on the record. That groove is the karmic pattern. It was carved by old trauma, by ancestral beliefs, by a past decision that began to echo through time. And every time the needle passes over that scratch, it plays the same grating, painful melody, the song of not good enough, the song of I'm always abandoned, the song of I'll never have enough. You know this song by heart. You hate this song. You've tried everything to stop it. You tried to force the needle out of the groove, but your own focus on the problem only pressed it down harder. You tried to ignore the music, but its dissonance was the soundtrack to your entire life, the needle of your attention, locked in the groove of the pattern, playing the song of your pain. This has been your reality, until now, because you didn't need to fight the needle. You just needed to change the speed of the record player itself. You clicked on this video as a prisoner of that loop, exhausted by the endless repetition of a song you never wanted to hear. You will finish it as the architect of your new freedom. You will not only understand that the song has ended, but you will be standing in the control room, ready to choose the next track. You will understand that the war you have been fighting for so long is finally over, and you won. To understand why the needle has lifted, we have to look at the physics of the groove itself. For years, you've likely seen this karmic loop as a mystical curse, a moral failing, or a psychological wound that just won't heal. It is none of those things. It is a circuit, a self-sustaining energetic circuit. And like any circuit, it operates on predictable, immutable laws. The foundational law is this: reality is not fixed. At its most fundamental level, the universe is a field of pure, shimmering potential. Physicists call this superposition. Think of it as an infinite ocean of every possibility existing at once. The reality where you are healed, the one where you are wealthy, the one where you are in a loving partnership, and the one where you are stuck in the loop. They all exist as waves of probability in this quantum field. These possibilities are fluid, undefined, and waiting for an observer. This is where you come in. Over a century ago, physicists conducted an experiment that shattered our understanding of reality. It's called the double-slit experiment. When they fired a stream of electrons at a screen with two slits in it, without observing them, the electrons behaved like a wave. They passed through both slits simultaneously and created an interference pattern on the other side, a pattern of pure potential. But the moment they placed a detector to see which slit the electron went through, the moment they observed it, the game changed. The electron stopped being a wave of potential and instantly became a particle, a single, defined point in reality. It picked a slit. The act of observation collapsed the wave of infinite possibilities into a single, concrete experience. Your focus is the detector. Your consciousness is the observer. A karmic loop is nothing more than the double-slit experiment playing out on a macro scale in your life, day after day. It's a closed feedback circuit powered by your own quantum observation. It begins with a belief, usually born from an initial painful experience. A belief that says, I will be abandoned, or I will never have enough, or I am not safe. This belief then tunes your consciousness, your observational power, to look for evidence that confirms it. Out of the infinite sea of quantum potential, you consistently, unconsciously, place your attention on the probabilities that match your belief. And just like the electron, the reality you observe collapses into that single, particle-like experience. The partner leaves, the money vanishes, the painful symptom returns. This new reality then acts as irrefutable proof that your original belief was correct. It deepens the energetic groove. This reinforces the belief, which sharpens your focus, which in turn collapses the field into the same outcome again and again and again. The snake eats its own tail. The circuit is complete. It becomes self-sustaining. You have become the creator and the prisoner of your own energetic feedback loop. So people ask, how to break karmic loops? The secret is you don't break them. You don't fight them. You dissolve them. This is the karmic loop explained simple. It's an addiction to a certain reality, and you've just gone through the biological and energetic detox. You've fundamentally changed the observer, and the evidence of this change is the emergence of what I call the quantum liberation key. This isn't a tool you acquire. It's not a technique you learn. It is a state of being you have earned. It is the specific baseline frequency you now hold, a frequency where your very presence no longer resonates with the circuit of the old problem. It is defined by three core characteristics that have been forged within you through all your trials. The first is non-reactivity. This is the profound ability to witness an old trigger without feeding it your energy. The critical email, the provocative comment, the familiar financial fear. These things may still appear as echoes, but they no longer spark the automatic, gut-wrenching reaction. Your nervous system no longer fires in the old way. You have become the calm space in which the storm used to rage. This non-reaction starves the circuit of its power source. The second is inner authority. This is the deep, cellular knowing that you are the observer, not the victim. It's the shift from asking, "Why is this happening to me?" to understanding, "What reality am I choosing to collapse with my focus?" You have stopped looking outside of yourself for saviors or for villains. You have reclaimed your position as the sole power that determines what dies from the field of potential C becomes solid in your world. The third is detached observation. This is the capacity to see the old story, the old identity, the old drama as just that, a story. You can watch it play out in your mind or even in the world around you, but you no longer believe you are the main character. You don't get lost in the plot. It evokes a sense of neutrality, perhaps even compassion, but it no longer feels like you. These three states, non-reactivity, inner authority, and detached observation, are the quantum liberation key. It is the state of being you have cultivated. It is the frequency that makes you fundamentally incompatible with the loop. Consider this: how much of your energy has been spent trying to fight the loop versus simply raising your frequency above it. Feel the difference in your body right now. This distinction is why so many well-intentioned methods often fail, or worse, seem to strengthen the loop. It's because they were designed to engage with the problem, not transcend it. They were all forms of keeping the needle in the groove, hoping to somehow fix the scratch while the painful song was still playing at full volume. Let's look at three you've likely poured your soul into. First, forceful affirmations. You stood in the mirror, repeating, "I am wealthy," while your body was screaming with the terror of unpaid bills. The intention was pure, but in the language of quantum physics, you were creating energetic dissonance. You were trying to force a belief, while your dominant observation, your feeling, your focus, was locked onto the reality of lack. It's like screaming beautiful lyrics at the scratched record. You are still giving the scratch all of your attention, pressing the needle of your focus even deeper into the damaged groove. You weren't affirming a new reality. You were fighting with the old one, which only made it more real. Second, endless analytical shadow work. You bravely dove into your past. You mapped every trauma, every wound. You understood why the loop started. This is vital work, but for many, it becomes a trap. It becomes a state of perpetual microscopic analysis of the scratch. You study its every ridge, its every contour, its origin, but in doing so, your quantum observation is hyper-focused on the problem. You become an expert on your wound, and the universe, which only responds to your point of observation, dutifully keeps collapsing reality to give you more of the wound to analyze. You inadvertently kept recreating the problem in order to study it. And third, spiritual bypassing. This is the attempt to float above the problem, to pretend the scratch doesn't exist, to prematurely claim all is love and light when your nervous system is in a state of crisis. This doesn't starve the loop of energy, it just ignores it. The painful song continues to play, powered by the suppressed emotional energy, but now it's muffled. It becomes a dissonant, grating hum beneath the surface of your life, creating anxiety and a profound sense of inauthenticity, because you were denying the reality you were actively creating with your unacknowledged focus. All these methods come from a paradigm of struggle, a paradigm that assumes the loop must be fought, fixed, or fled from. But you are not here because you won the fight. You are here because you rendered the fight irrelevant. This is the new paradigm. The breakthrough was never about fixing the groove. It was never about understanding the scratch. It was about fundamentally changing the rotational speed of the entire record player. Your work, your pain, your effort, it was all alchemy. You were generating so much spiritual heat that you began to change your core vibrational frequency. You raised the rotational speed of your own consciousness. And what happens to a needle trying to track a deep groove when the turntable starts spinning at an impossible speed? It can no longer hold. The centrifugal force of your new frequency becomes too great. The needle lifts. It levitates. It floats silently, weightlessly above the old pattern. The old song doesn't end with a grand finale. It simply stops. An abrupt silence. You didn't solve the problem. You rendered it obsolete. You didn't heal the wound. You outgrew it. You didn't change the story. You changed the author. You didn't solve the problem. You rendered it obsolete. And this is where the entire paradigm of your existence fractures and rebuilds itself in a single moment of absolute clarity. So breathe, be present for this, because what I am about to say is the truth you have been fighting to unearth for years. The great secret is this: all that work you did, all that pain you processed, all the tears you cried, all the meditations, the affirmations, the shadow work, it was never meant to fix the problem. It was alchemy. You were turning the lead of your suffering into the gold of a higher frequency. Read that again in your mind. The purpose was not repair, it was transformation. The loop didn't break because you successfully attacked it. The loop dissolved because you, the fundamental power source of your reality, began to vibrate at a level that could no longer sustain its existence. The energetic architecture of that old pain requires a low, dense frequency to maintain its structural integrity. Your work, your resilience, your relentless pursuit of something more systematically raised your baseline frequency, cell by cell, thought by thought, until one day, without you even noticing, you crossed a threshold. You became vibrationally incompatible with your own suffering. It's like a radio station. You were tuned to 98.7 FM and the station of struggle, and all you heard was that one painful song on repeat. You tried everything to change the song. You yelled at the radio, you analyzed the lyrics, you tried to find meaning in the static, but nothing worked. The work you were doing wasn't about changing the song. It was about slowly, deliberately, turning the dial. And now, you are tuned to 108.1 FM, the frequency of freedom. You can't hear the old song anymore, not because it stopped playing on its station, but because you are no longer tuned to it. It is physically, energetically impossible for that broadcast to reach you here. What if the loop wasn't a punishment, but a training ground? A quantum simulator designed to forge the exact vibrational strength you needed to finally transcend it. Let that reframe everything. Let that sink into the deepest parts of you. This changes everything. This means your freedom is not conditional. It is not a reward for good behavior that can be revoked if you make a mistake. It is not a fragile piece you have to delicately maintain. It is a fundamental property of your new state of being. It is as much a part of you now as the color of your eyes or the rhythm of your heart. You don't have to earn it each day. You don't have to be perfect to keep it. You don't have to walk on eggshells, terrified of doing something that will send you back. The way back no longer exists for you. Your freedom is an accomplished fact in space-time. It is your new physics, your new biology. It is the ground you stand on. This also means you can stop analyzing the past. You can let it go. Your mind, conditioned by years in the loop, has become an expert archaeologist of its own pain. It loves to dig up the artifacts of the past, to examine the old groove on the record, trying to understand precisely how it was made, why it was so deep, who was responsible for the scratch. But this is the crucial truth. Examining the old groove is a pointless exercise when you are no longer playing that record. You don't need to understand the mechanics of the cage now that you are free. In fact, placing your attention there is the only thing that gives it any residual power. Your need for closure was a feature of the loop. Your need to understand why was the engine of the loop. In your new state of being, the only thing that matters is what you will create now with your freedom. The past is a museum. You can appreciate that you've been there, but you don't have to live in it anymore. And most importantly, this means the absence of struggle is your new normal. You are not waiting for the other shoe to drop. There is no other shoe. For so long, your nervous system has been calibrated to chaos. Peace felt suspicious. Calm felt like the eerie silence before a storm. You were conditioned to listen for the grating sound of that needle in the groove. So now, in its absence, the silence can feel deafening, even frightening. But that silence is not emptiness. It is potential. It is the clean slate. It is the sound of your freedom. You have to retrain your senses to accept peace as your baseline reality. You have to give your body permission to stand down from high alert. The war is over. You are not a soldier on leave, waiting to be redeployed. You are a civilian, learning to live in peacetime. The hypervigilance can be retired. The expectation of disaster can be lovingly released. This all points to one undeniable conclusion. There has been a fundamental shift in your identity. You are no longer a survivor of a karmic loop. That identity, while noble and necessary for a time, requires the existence of the loop to validate itself. A survivor needs something to survive. A warrior needs a battle to fight. A healer needs a wound to mend. Those roles have expired. Their contracts are complete. Continuing to identify with them is like wearing the uniform of a war that has already been won. It is heavy, it is obsolete, and it keeps you tethered to the memory of the conflict. You must consciously shed that skin. You are now an architect of a new timeline. Think about the difference. A survivor reacts. An architect creates. A survivor scans the horizon for threats. An architect scans the horizon for potential. The survivor's primary job was managing pain and mitigating damage. The architect's primary job is managing energy and building from a blueprint of their highest vision. This is not a semantic game. This is the most important operational upgrade of your life. To step into this new identity is to finally put down the weapons and pick up the tools of creation. Your focus shifts from, what am I healing from, to what am I building now? From, how do I prevent the past from happening again? To, what future does my soul desire to experience? You are not the person who entered that loop. That person was the caterpillar. The loop was the chrysalis. You are what emerged. And you are just now beginning to understand that you have wings. This liberation isn't just a feeling. It leaves fingerprints all over your reality. The universe has been sending you confirmation signals, but you've likely been misinterpreting them through the lens of the old struggle. You were still listening for the loud, grating noise of the karmic record, so you couldn't yet hear the subtle, beautiful sound of silence that has taken its place. These signals are not grand corn celestial pronouncements. They are quiet, profound shifts in your perception and your environment. They are the undeniable evidence that the war is over. Here are the undeniable signs you broke a karmic cycle. Prepare to recognize yourself. The first sign is the echo of disinterest. What you may have mistaken for apathy or even emotional numbness is in fact neutrality. It is the signature of profound energetic peace. The old triggers, the specific people, the exact turn of phrase, the familiar situations that used to hijack your nervous system and send you spiraling into anger, fear, or despair, now arrive, and you simply observe them. They land with no impact. It's like watching a movie you've already seen 100 times. You know the lines, you know the plot twists, but now you feel no emotional charge. You are no longer a participant in the drama. You are a neutral member of the audience, watching the credits roll. The scientific explanation for this is a complete rewiring of your energetic and neurological response system. A trigger is only a trigger if it finds a resonant frequency within you to latch onto. Think of it like a radio signal. The old broadcast of pain is still being transmitted by that person or situation, but your receiver is no longer tuned to that channel. You have fundamentally changed your frequency. The stimulus arrives, searches for the familiar energetic hook of your wound, finds nothing, and simply passes through you without effect. This isn't suppression, this isn't avoidance, this is obsolescence. Imagine a woman who, for 30 years, dreaded holiday dinners. Her mother, with surgical precision, always knew the one comment to make about her weight, her career, or her relationship status that would utterly unravel her. The moment would arrive, the barb would be delivered, and the familiar storm would ignite within her, a toxic cocktail of shame, rage, and defensive self-justification that would ruin her for days. She spent years in therapy analyzing it, creating strategies, practicing responses. But this year was different. She sat at the table, and the moment came. Her mother, right on cue, said, "It's a shame your business is still just a hobby. Maybe it's time to get a real job." And nothing happened. The woman didn't feel a spike of adrenaline. Her stomach didn't clench. She didn't feel the hot flush of anger. She looked at her mother, not with pity or forgiveness, but with a strange, clean, detached observation. She saw not a monster, but a person playing out a very old, very tired program. The comment landed in the air between them and simply dissolved. For the first time, she didn't take the bait. She didn't need to. She just smiled faintly, took a sip of water, and changed the subject. She felt a profound quiet inside, the sound of a battle that was no longer being fought. That quiet is the sound of your freedom. Look back over the last few weeks. Where have you noticed this in your own life? Where have you gracefully declined an invitation to an argument you would have once dived into head first? Notice where you are no longer taking the bait. That is your proof. The second sign is the void of opportunity. This is perhaps the most frightening and most misinterpreted sign of all. What feels like doors slamming shut, paths disappearing, and opportunities evaporating is not loss. It is the universe clearing the stage. The old world that supported and enabled your karmic loop is dematerializing. The safe but soul-crushing job, the codependent friendship that enabled your victimhood, the escape routes you used to run back to the familiar pain, they are being systematically dismantled because they do not and cannot exist on your new timeline. From a quantum perspective, your reality is a reflection of your dominant frequency. Your new, higher vibration can no longer collapse quantum possibilities that are in violent opposition to it. The energetic potential for those old paths has dropped to near zero for you. The universe isn't punishing you by taking things away. It is protecting your new state of being by removing anything that is not a vibrational match to it. It is creating a vacuum, a necessary void, so that opportunities aligned with your new self have the space to materialize. Think of a man who spent a decade in a financially secure but spiritually bankrupt corporate job. It was the source of his loop, the loop of quiet desperation, of trading his life force for a paycheck that just barely covered the lifestyle he didn't even enjoy. He dreamed of leaving but was terrified. It was his golden cage. Then, a corporate merger is announced. His entire division, the safest division in the company, is eliminated. He is laid off. On the surface, it is a catastrophe. His logical mind screams in terror, but beneath the fear, there is a strange, unsettling feeling he cannot name. It is relief. His friends and family offer condolences, but he feels a bizarre sense of lightness. The cage door has been blown off its hinges. For the first time in 10 years, there is no path. There is no plan. There is only a vast, terrifying, and utterly liberating emptiness. The universe didn't wait for him to be brave enough to leave the cage. It simply removed the cage. That void is not an absence of options. It is the presence of infinite potential. In the comments, share which of these 3 signs you now recognize in your own life. Your story will be the evidence someone else needs to see to believe in their own freedom. Let's create a cascade of confirmation. Take a moment to reflect. What has recently been removed from your life that, despite the initial fear, has left you with a secret sense of spaciousness? That is the universe making room for your new reality. The third and most intimate sign is the unfamiliar self. You begin to feel like a stranger in your own life. You look in the mirror and don't quite recognize the person looking back. Your old motivations, the desires that once drove your every action, now feel hollow and distant. This is not dissociation or depression. It is the emergence of your authentic self from beneath the rubble of the karmic identity. Your personality, your habits, your reactions, so much of what you thought of as you, was actually a complex and brilliant construct. An identity you built specifically to survive and navigate the conditions of the karmic loop. You became the fixer to deal with a chaotic family. You became the overachiever to prove your worth to a world that felt rejecting. You became the hyper-vigilant one to avoid the next inevitable betrayal. That identity was a suit of armor, but the war is over. And you are still wearing it. Now you are finally taking it off piece by piece, and the self underneath feels tender, new and unfamiliar. The science of this is plain. Your identity was a stable pattern of neural pathways and energetic responses built for a specific environment. Now that the environment, the loop, is gone, the construct that navigated it is obsolete. It is being decommissioned. You are not losing yourself. You are meeting your true operational baseline for the very first time. Consider a woman whose entire identity was built around her struggle. She was a survivor. Her friends knew her as the one who was always overcoming some dramatic challenge with a partner or her health. Her passions were all related to healing and processing trauma. It was who she was. Then the loop ended. The drama ceased. Her health stabilized, and she found herself in a state of profound peace. But the peace felt boring, alien. She found that her old hobbies, the ones centered on dissecting her pain, now felt meaningless. She would look in the mirror and see a placid face, and it would frighten her. Where was the fire? Where was the fight? She felt like she had lost her personality. But what she had actually lost was her prison uniform. She was now facing the profound and challenging question, without my struggle to define me, who am I? She was no longer a survivor. She was simply living and learning to be at peace with that quiet, unfamiliar, and deeply authentic existence was the final stage of her liberation. Look at your own life right now. What parts of your old identity no longer feel true? What old passions or ambitions have suddenly lost their charge, not out of sadness, but out of a simple lack of resonance? That feeling of being a peaceful stranger to yourself is the ultimate sign that you are not who you were. You are finally who you are. You have the proof. You see the signs. Now, let's move beyond the mind and anchor this truth into your very biology. This is the most important part of our journey together, because an intellectual understanding of freedom is a map, but an embodied experience of freedom is the destination. It is here that we transmute knowledge into gnosis. So I invite you now, in this moment, to find a comfortable position, one where your spine can be straight but not rigid, seated or lying down. It does not matter. All that matters is that you give yourself permission to be completely supported. And when you are ready, if it feels safe and right for you to do so, gently close your eyes. Let go of the video. Let go of the screen. Let go of me. This is now entirely between you and your own liberated self. Begin by bringing your awareness to your breath. Just notice it. Don't try to change it. Don't try to deepen it. Simply witness the gentle rise and fall of your chest or your abdomen, the cool air entering your nostrils, the warm air leaving. Each breath is an anchor to this precise moment, the only moment that ever truly exists. Now, I want you to perform a scan of your body, but we are not looking for tension. We are not looking for pain. We are looking for something far more subtle. We are looking for the memory of the struggle. Bring your awareness to your head, your jaw, your neck. Can you sense the ghost of an old worry there? The faint, energetic residue of overthinking, of trying to figure it all out. You don't have to name it, just notice it, an echo in the stillness. Move your awareness down into your shoulders. Can you feel the phantom weight of a burden you no longer carry? The memory of responsibility, the faint hum of a fight you are no longer in. Observe it, without judgment, without a story. Now, bring your awareness to your chest, to the space around your heart. Can you sense the shadow of an old heartbreak, a protective shield that is no longer needed? The faint, brittle memory of a wall that has already crumbled. Just see it. A whisper of a past that is no longer your present. Finally, bring your awareness to your solar plexus, to your stomach. Can you feel the phantom knot of an old fear? The lingering signature of scarcity, of not enoughness, of bracing for the next blow. This is the energetic signature of the old loop. It is not an active force. It is a recording left behind, an empty shell. And now, from the seat of your true power, from this place of calm observation, I want you to gently, with your focused intention, command it to dissolve. You don't need to push. You don't need to fight. Simply witness it. And as you witness this old residual energy, see it beginning to lose its form. See it turning to dust. Fine, shimmering particles of light that are now being released from your field. See the phantom weight on your shoulders simply evaporating. See the brittle shield around your heart turning into a soft, glowing mist and floating away. See the knot in your stomach gently uncoiling, its threads dissolving into nothingness. You are not healing anything. You are not fixing anything. You are simply clearing away the artifacts of a reality that is already gone. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, let the last of that dust, the last of that mist, the last of that memory peacefully exit your system. Now, bring your awareness to the space where those old structures were. Feel into the space where the knot of fear used to be. What is there now? Don't fill it with a thought. Feel it with your body. Is there a sense of quiet, of calm, of openness? This is not emptiness. This is pure, untethered potential. This is the frequency of freedom. Breathe into that space. With each inhalation, imagine you are drawing in more of this clean, clear, spacious energy. With each exhalation, feel it expanding from that single point, filling your entire abdomen. Now, bring your awareness to the space around your heart, where the shield used to be. Feel the openness there, the vulnerability that is also your greatest strength, the profound peace of a heart that has nothing left to defend against. If your karmic loop was one of relationships, of betrayal, of loneliness, breathe into this open heart. Feel the frequency of relational freedom. It is not the hope for a perfect partner. It is the deep, cellular knowing that you are already whole. It is the feeling of safety within your own being, the feeling of love that radiates from you, not one that you seek outside of you. Breathe into that wholeness. Let it fill your entire chest, a warm, golden light of self-sovereignty. If your karmic loop was one of finance, of scarcity, of constant struggle, bring your awareness back to your solar plexus. Feel that open, calm space and breathe into it the frequency of financial freedom. It is not the thought of a number in a bank account. It is the feeling of lightness in your body, the release of constriction, the visceral sense of flow, of knowing that you are supported by a benevolent universe because you are a part of it. It is the feeling of enough, right here, right now. Breathe into that expansive sense of ease. Let it circulate through your entire being. If your karmic loop was one of health, of chronic pain, of bodily limitation, bring your awareness to your entire physical form. Feel this new, clean space inside of you as the frequency of health freedom. It is not a denial of symptoms. It is a return to your body's innate intelligence. It is the feeling of vitality, of energy flowing without impediment, the remembrance of your natural state, which is wellness. Breathe into every cell, reminding it of its perfect, mice original blueprint. Feel the frequency of life itself, vibrant and whole, humming within you. Whatever your loop was, this new frequency is its antidote. Breathe it in, let it expand. Allow this feeling of spacious, untethered, peaceful freedom to fill you from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head. And now, for the final calibration. Imagine that every single cell in your body is a tiny, crystalline receiver, trillions of them. And for years, they have been tuned to the grating, repetitive frequency of the karmic loop. But now, a new signal is being broadcast, the pure, coherent, powerful signal of your own liberated essence. With your intention, instruct every cell in your body to retune itself, to turn its microscopic dial away from the old, static-filled station of struggle and lock onto this new, clear broadcast of freedom. Feel a subtle shift in your entire body, a humming, a coherence. As every cell aligns to this new core frequency, let's anchor it with a declaration of truth. Repeat this silently, in your mind, feeling the resonance of each word. This is my new baseline. Feel that in your bones. This is my natural state. Feel that in your blood. I am home. Feel that in your soul. One more time. This is my new baseline. This is my natural state. I am home. Your entire biology is now humming in harmony with the truth of your liberation. This feeling, this is your new reality. This is your compass. This is your truth. Hold on to this feeling. And now, very gently, without losing this inner resonance, begin to bring your awareness back to the physical world. Feel the surface beneath you, supporting you completely. Notice the air on your skin. Hear the subtle sounds in the room around you. Take a slow, deep breath in, filling your lungs completely. And as you exhale, you can slowly and gently begin to open your eyes, returning fully to this space, but as a new version of yourself. Welcome back. As you return, what is the one word that captures the feeling of this new, untethered reality for you? It could be spacious, it could be peace, it could be light, it could be sovereign. Don't think about it. Just feel the first word that comes. Hold that word. It is your anchor and your compass now. That feeling is your truth. You are no longer the subject of the story, you are the author. An architect of the new timeline doesn't hope for a better future. They design from it. This is a fundamental shift in operation. You are moving from a state of reaction to a state of conscious creation. But creation requires tools, not tools of struggle, but tools of precision. Here are your new tools of creation, your instruments for building a reality based on the frequency of freedom you now hold. So if you want to know how to use this new state for manifestation, it begins with your choices. This is the real technique. It's not about complex rituals or endless visualization. It is about the simple, moment-to-moment alignment of your actions with your new core frequency. Your first and most powerful tool is called the freedom filter. This is your new decision-making matrix. Its purpose is elegantly simple: to ensure that every choice you make, from the monumental to the mundane, serves to reinforce and build upon your new timeline of freedom, rather than unconsciously recreating the energetic patterns of the old loop. The principle is one of vibrational coherence. Every decision is an energetic vote. You either cast a vote for the reality of confinement, which is familiar, or you cast a vote for the reality of freedom, which is your new truth. The freedom filter guarantees you are always voting in alignment with who you are now. Here is how you use it. Before any decision, whether it's what to eat for lunch, how to respond to an email, whether to accept a social invitation, or if you should take a new job, you simply pause. You take one deep breath, connecting with that feeling of spaciousness you embodied just moments ago, and you ask your body one simple question: does this choice feel like the old confinement or the new freedom? Wait for the answer. It will not come from your analytical mind, which is still trained to calculate risk based on past pain. The answer will come from your body, from your newly calibrated somatic intelligence. It will be an immediate sense of expansion, lightness, and openness for a yes, or a subtle but clear feeling of contraction, heaviness, or resistance for a no. That is it. That is the entire technique. Your body knows the frequency of freedom. Let it lead. What is the very first decision you will make, no matter how small, from this new state of freedom, not from the memory of the old fear? Claim it now. Now. There is a critical mistake to avoid when using this tool. Your logical mind will try to override your body's clear signal. Freedom can sometimes feel terrifying to the ego, which equates the familiar with safety. Confinement, the old loop, can feel comfortable and known. Your mind might say, but this choice is safer, it's more responsible, it's what you've always done. You must have the courage to trust the feeling over the thought. Trust the expansion over the explanation. The mind is the historian of the old timeline. Your body is the compass for the new one. Your second tool is for managing the inevitable tests that will arise. It is called echo de-authentication. Its purpose is to give you a clear, calm, and powerful protocol for handling the ghosts or echoes of the old pattern when they appear, ensuring they are not given any energy to re-establish a foothold in your reality. The principle behind this is simple physics. An old energy pattern, when it no longer has a host, will send out probes to see if it can reconnect. Think of it as a disconnected appliance sending out a weak Wi-Fi signal, searching for a network. These echoes, an old thought pattern, a sudden surge of a familiar fear, or even a person from your past showing up unexpectedly, are not signs that the loop is returning. They are proof that it has been disconnected and is now in its final dissolution phase. Your non-reaction is what fully and finally deauthorizes its access to your field. Here is how to use it. The moment you notice an old thought, an old fear, or an external trigger that belongs to the old loop, you do not engage with it. You do not analyze it. You do not fight it. You simply perform 3 steps internally. 1. You see it clearly and calmly. 2. You label it by saying to yourself, I see you. You are an echo of a timeline that is no longer active. 3. You immediately and deliberately withdraw your focus from the echo and place it squarely back onto the embodied feeling of freedom you cultivated in our meditation. Feel the spaciousness in your chest. Feel the lightness in your cells. This process takes the echo, which is begging for your observational energy to become real again, and starves it of that energy. You acknowledge its presence without giving it power. You see it, you label it for what it is, old data, and you return to your present moment truth. The most common mistake here is to panic. The appearance of an echo can trigger the fear that all your work was for nothing and the loop is back. This is the echo's final gambit. To believe this fear is to plug the appliance back into the wall. Fighting the echo, resisting it, or obsessing over why it appeared also gives it the energy it craves. The correct stance is one of neutral, powerful disinterest, like watching a cloud from a forgotten storm drift by in an otherwise clear blue sky. You simply see it, name it, and let it pass, knowing it has no power to create rain in your world anymore. So, you have your decision-making tool and your defense tool. Now for the integration framework that makes this all your new reality. How do you make this your life? It must be effortless. This is not another spiritual chore to add to your list. It is an act of remembering who you are now. The framework is this: start and end each day for the next 30 days by spending exactly 60 seconds reactivating the feeling of freedom from the meditation. When you wake up, before you check your phone, before your mind starts running through the day's to-do list, close your eyes and bring your awareness into your body. Find that feeling of spaciousness, of untethered potential. Breathe into it for 1 minute. Declare silently, "This is my baseline. I design my day from this frequency." Then, at night, just before you fall asleep, let go of the day's events. Disconnect from any lingering thoughts or worries, and for 60 seconds, return to that same feeling of freedom. Let it be the last sensation you experience before you sleep. Let it be the frequency that informs your subconscious and your dream state. This simple practice does not create freedom. It reinforces your recognition of it. It calibrates your energetic field at the two most crucial points of the day, ensuring you begin and end in the frequency of your new reality. It is an act of identity. You are no longer someone working to become free. You are a free being, simply remembering itself. You came to this video feeling stuck. You now have the understanding, the evidence, the embodied feeling, and the practical tools of your freedom. You have moved from being a prisoner of a repeating past to the conscious architect of an open future. You have reclaimed your power as the sovereign of your reality. Take a deep breath. Acknowledge this monumental shift. This was not a gift. It was an achievement. You did this. Every moment of pain you processed, every tear you shed, every time you chose to get back up when cynicism was whispering in your ear, it was all fuel for this transformation. You have completed a profound alchemical work. You have turned the lead of your deepest suffering into the gold of your highest freedom. But your liberation was never just about you. In the quantum field, nothing is separate. There is no true inside or outside. Your personal frequency shift is not a private event, happening quietly within the confines of your own energy field. It is a broadcast. It is a powerful signal transmitted into the unified field of consciousness, altering the entire landscape of potential for everyone. Think of it like a perfectly still lake. Your old karmic loop was a chaotic, violent splashing in one corner, creating distorted ripples that spread outwards. Now, you have become a source of profound calm. Your frequency is a coherent, harmonic wave that now emanates from that same point, a wave of peace, of possibility, of liberation. This new wave doesn't just calm your own waters, it begins to calm the entire lake. The question is no longer, how do I stay free? That question belongs to the old identity, the one who feared the loop's return. You are past that now. The question now becomes, what does my freedom make possible for the world? This is the great expansion. This is the next horizon of your journey. You have graduated from student to teacher, from survivor to leader, not through words or actions, but through the pure physics of your being. Your very existence is now an active force for change. When one person breaks free from a powerful collective energetic pattern, a loop of scarcity, a loop of betrayal, a loop of unworthiness, the principle of quantum entanglement means their breakthrough creates an energetic pathway for others. Your freedom isn't just an abstract inspiration for someone else. It is a physical, quantum-level resonance that begins to vibrate in their field, showing their cells that another reality is possible. You literally make it easier for others to break free, just by being free yourself. You become a resonance key. Your frequency is the tone that can shatter the glass of their prison. This is not a metaphor. This is the mechanics of a connected universe. Your courage to face your own shadows and transmute them into a higher frequency has created a tear in the fabric of that collective limitation, a tear that is now a doorway for others to walk through. This is the secret to planetary change. It doesn't happen through fighting the old systems. It happens when enough individuals become vibrationally incompatible with those systems, dissolving them from the inside out through the sheer power of their own liberated state. Your personal freedom is a planetary force. That's why our next video is called Quantum Entanglement Explained, how your freedom is not just your own, We will explore the physics of how your personal timeline shift directly and measurably impacts the collective consciousness, and how you can consciously use this principle to amplify your positive impact without even trying. We'll delve into how your new frequency is not just a shield, but a broadcast that helps to rewrite the code of limitation for those around you. We'll also cover synchronicity is simpler than you think. It's your new timeline communicating with you, showing you how to read the new language of a reality that is conspiring for your success. Subscribe and activate all notifications. The next video, Quantum Entanglement Explained, how your freedom is not just your own, is the critical next step in understanding your new role in the collective. You don't want to miss this. Walk out of this experience today not just as a free person, but as a lighthouse. You don't need to go out and preach. You don't need to try and save anyone. A lighthouse doesn't run all over the coastline trying to find ships. It simply stands. It anchors itself to the rock and it shines. Your only job now is to embody your liberation so fully, to enjoy your peace so deeply, to create from your freedom so joyfully that you become a beacon for others who are still navigating the storm. Your light is the proof that the storm can be overcome. Your calm is the proof that the shore is real. Your freedom is the key that unlocks countless other cages. Go and be free.